how to hand in video tutorial. Hi, I'm Mr. Kuchova, and I wanted to create a video to show you from a child's screen how to hand in work that has been sent to you, and also how to resubmit your work if you need to. As you've noticed, I am now signed in as a pupil into year 3 and 4 staff, and I'm on the stream, and I just wanted to show you some easier ways of finding your work. You will notice that on the left hand side you've got a little column called upcoming. This is where you will always find your task for the day. So notice that my task for today, it's only in here. It is older lesson, but I just wanted to go through it just so you can have a little look at how you can edit documents directly and how to submit your work. So press in here, which will take you to your lesson in that day. Now, this would have been a literacy lesson, and it's about learning to plan for your big ride. You will notice that in here you obviously have your videos or any other documents that might have been attached for you to see. On the right hand side you've got the column with your work. So if I am to press on these, it will open the documents that Mr. Stefanakis has uploaded for you to use. You will also notice that you have a button called Add or Create. I will come back to this one in a little while. First, we need to discover what the work is all about. So it's not very clear in here, but if you keep the mouse over it, it will actually show you. So we are learning to plan. I believe this is our lesson for today. I'm going to have a read, and this is what you should be doing as well when you have a lesson. So you read through all the different tasks. Now, this is not a lesson that is asking me to continue typing on this document. So I will need to make sure that I'm discovering which document I should be using for my work. It is about planning, and luckily I know this lesson already. Therefore, what I would recommend that you would do all the time is to leave this page open. I wouldn't close your tab, only because you can always come back on it. You will notice that you have a turn in button, but this is not the work, as I said, you need to send. So let's have a little look at the work that you do. I'm going to go back on the tab. I can see that this is a PDF that gives us a range of vocabulary, which should be used when you are doing your big write. And then I've noticed that this is the work. Now, I can't type on it, and that is because you need to make sure you are opening this document with Google Documents. So I'm going to press open with Google Docs, and you've noticed that it's now opening it on a different tab. And you should now be able to use your work. Introduction, you can type in events, what happened, you can type in feelings, and so on. You can type over here, or if you wish to, you can go ahead and type in here. So, introduction. I am writing, I will be speaking about Isaac Newton's place of birth. I will use the correct date, and so on. So there are loads of different things that you can do. If I press save and close, you now notice that you've got it in here. Sometimes you might not have boxes, so you will notice that you can just type on it. So I can type on it if I want to, but in this situation, this is different because it has boxes. So I'm on it, I will double click it, events that happen. So I need to select where I need to be. Type in, I'm pressing enter, events. The apple fell from the tree. It hit his head really hard. I will use verbs relating to falling. And obviously there are other things that do. So save and close. Again, notice how you've got it in here. That's because we're on editing mode. Now, you will discover that you haven't got a turn in button. That's not an issue. In fact, the best thing to do is to just close it. You've done your work, it will automatically save. So now that I've closed it, I can go back into it and check if it's right. This is not the document that I've been working on, and it's absolutely perfect that we've got this, because we need to now attach the document that I've worked on. For that, you will need to press Add or Create. You will go into your Google Drive, and over here you will find the most recent document that you've worked on. If you hold the mouse over it as well, you will notice that it has a name. So I am going to look for my work just to make sure that I can insert it. I have now inserted my latest document, which will show my work. There you are. So my work has now been inserted. Now, are we supposed to send these back? Well, it's really up to you. I sometimes recommend children that if it's a document that you haven't worked on, you can take it off. Always check, just so you don't have to do it twice. This is the blank one. I will delete it. This is part of your instructions. So do we need to send the instructions back? Not necessarily. So again, up to you, you can delete it, and you will notice that now you've got your work, and this is a way to hand it in. The other way you can do it is by pressing Add or Create. I'm going to delete this just for a second. So it is now has been deleted. Add or Create. I've got the task in here. Sometimes you need to create your own documents. It's not the case for this lesson, but sometimes you need to make sure you create your own. So for that, as you've seen, you will press Add or Create. You will choose Doc, Slides, Sheets or Drawings, or if you've been working directly on your computer, you may press the File button so you can upload from your computer. You may also use a link. This is in case you've done a work outside of Google Classroom. So sometimes you might need to upload an Adobe Spark presentation, or you might need to add a link, and this is how you do it. So Add or Create, Document. It's now created. It has now created a document that you are able to use. It's an empty document. You can type on it as you want to, and you will notice it will come up. This one is easy to turn in, you can just do that, but again, I'm not going to turn it in because I don't need to turn in this document. So I'm gonna delete my empty document. I'm gonna go make sure that I'm uploading the work I have previously done. You notice now, because it's in recent and I've opened the previous document, that's not the first. So I need to check which document is the one that I've worked on. It is this one. If I keep the mouse over it, you will notice. So this is my plan. Selecting it, I will press Insert, and now you are able to hand in your work. Press Hand in, you've got one attachment. Remember, once you've done this, it's really important to check for any comments that your class teacher has written on. Sometimes your class teacher might also hand your work back, in which case you need to check it. You need to be able to work on what you've been told to change, and then you resubmit. Or you may have accidentally deleted, you may have accidentally done sent a bit of work that you didn't want to. If you go back on the stream, you will notice that your work is not here because you have submitted it already. So what I recommend that you do, in order to find your previous work, you have to go into classwork. And in classwork, you will be able to see your work. There you go. So there are different ways of doing it. My work is showing that it's been handed in. So I can go back on it, view details, there you go, I'm back on my work. Another way to do it, again, if you go into classwork, you may check for it and see, where is this lesson? Well, it showed that it's completed, so I'm just going to go press on it. I found my work, I press view, assignment, and then if I wish to be working on this document again, if I press on it, you will notice that it won't let me edit. So you need to make sure that you are unsubmitting your work. Now that I have unsubmitted my work, I am once again able to open the document that I've been working on, and I'm now once again able to work on it if I choose to with the work. And you now want to hand it again, obviously you will once again press the button hand in. Sometimes your teacher might be directly on your work and you will notice that you've had feedback, but in the meanwhile, obviously you can close your previous tabs and you can go back into your classroom to check if there's any other things that you need to do. You will notice the assignment is still here. You will see if there's any class comments. If you have any issues, you may always ask any questions. So how long should I spend on this task? You will also notice that children are quite quick at answering your work. In here, you may also write some private comments about your work. Please remember, on the left-hand side, these are comments for the entire classroom to see. On the right-hand side, this is a comment that only your class teacher can see. So on the private comment, I'm going to say, I have finished my work. I hope it is correct. So I'm going to send this. I would like you to always go back and have a look. You might have a comment from your class teacher asking you to do something else. So it's really, really important that you always check your work just so you can make sure that you have done it correctly. I have now noticed, look at that my work has already been turned back. So the class teacher has put a comment, an excellent plan, Mr. C. Remember to use a range of VCOP in your plan, ready for your big write tomorrow. Therefore, I need to go back on my plan. My teacher has said that I need to use a range of VCOP. So I will make sure that in my work, is it on events? Is it on feelings? No, it's on the introductions, or let's just say on feelings. I'm going to type in, and I want to make sure my teacher knows that I will be using a range of VCOP. So I will use a range of VCOP. This is just an example of how you can adjust your work. I'm saving and closing. I'm now happy with what I've done. I'm turning my work back in so the class teacher can see that I've done my work, and I'm handing it in. You notice it's opened a different page, and I said, I'm gonna answer the teacher. Thank you very much for the feedback. I have adjusted my work and it now mentions that I will use VCOP. There you go, I have answered to the teacher's feedback. This is the same thing that you would be doing in your books. In your books, you would have teacher questions, you would have marking with red, and you would always mark back with your green pen. You may also write in here, if you haven't done it on your work, you may also write your what went well. I can plan, EBI, I spend more time on it. There you go. This is how you submit your work. I hope it all makes sense. Good luck, everyone.